Yaz Aksakaloğlu was once a promising officer candidate in the Turkish military, but he says the Feto terror group identified specific individuals to end their careers.
These so-called officers are well-trained and equipped to carry out torture. They know how to put psychological and physical pressure on a person in order to kick them out of the military school. The terror cells could consist of 9, 10 or even 15 people. When I was with the Sakarya battalion, there were about 800 or 900 people. But the Feto members had already identified 500 or 600 people who they wanted to target. The organization deals with everyone else as if they may pose a threat in the future. They watch your actions, the books you read, and sometimes your family members. After all, Feto is more like an intelligence operation.
During a 13-day military camp in 2010, he says he was beaten, deprived of sleep, and suffered other forms of psychological torture. Aksakaloğlu was unable to continue and was forced to sign a statement saying he was leaving voluntarily.
When I look back a little, I am 30 years old now. I was only 17 when I went through this. It was 13 years ago. I still think about how I could have opposed them. But as a 17-year-old military student, it was not possible to fight against such a conspiracy.
Mert Akgün has been researching the terror group's tactics for 6 years. The group is accused of giving members answers to test questions, manipulating test results, and intimidating non-member military students. Akgün says they targeted specific institutions using similar tactics for decades.
The main institutions targeted by the organization were the Turkish Armed Forces, the National Police, the National Intelligence Organization, and the judiciary. These 4 institutions were structured in a special way by the terror group and given a special title, the Mahrem. The organization first appeared in the 1970s and began targeting these units. They tried restructuring the police department and the security organizations. Then, not long after, we saw the organization begin to penetrate the military bureaucracy.
Aksakaloğlu says the terror group harmed Turkey on multiple levels. That's why he continues telling his story, while others may not be able to speak up.
I suffered many psychological problems after I left school. I always question myself. I wonder if I could have held out a little longer. There were also many military students who had difficulties with this. I had friends who left, others who were ostracized by their families and friends, and some even committed suicide. But somehow I got over it. My family was supportive. Now I'm trying to share my experience with everyone I can.
251 people were killed and over 2,000 wounded during the failed coup attempt on July 15, 2016. During the past 6 years, Turkish prosecutors conducted 100,000 investigations and pursued 289 different cases against Feto members that were either directly involved in the failed coup attempt or part of the group's network. 3,000 life sentences and nearly 5,000 other jail sentences were handed down for individuals found guilty of crimes. Victims of the terror group's violations say that the result of the prosecutions give them a sense of closure, allowing them to move on without fearing further retaliation. Obaida Hitto, TRT World, Ankara.